Well, I just decided to do this go live thing because maybe just as a record for myself, um, maybe as a way to help some people who might be feeling the same way I do. I have no idea what the quality is like here, so bear with me. Um, yeah. Uh, so I was impacted by layoffs earlier this year. Um, so November. So I used to work at Amazon Games. Uh, I had just gotten home from a short vacation to Disneyland, and the announcement came on the Monday that I had returned that my position was impacted by the layoff, that I'd have 2 months of pay without a requirement to work. And, you know, that was that. That was pretty much it. So, pretty unfortunate to come home from vacation after my anniversary, get the announcement that I'm going to be laid off at work. And 2 months later, I was. Now, I didn't really look rigorously internally at Amazon at the time. I'd been there for 9 years. I was looking for something different. Pretty frustrating to now. Pretty frustrating now, but um, yeah. So then I was officially laid off in January. I was on unemployment from February until August, maybe September. Uh, I did end up picking up part-time work at a retail location. They didn't have full-time, which was unfortunate. Um, so yeah, not exciting, not an exciting time at all. Um, so um, you know, so that's been my life for the moment. However, that doesn't fill the context of everything that's going on in my life. Um, so in let's see, that was so this year I was officially laid off. Um, in May of last year, 2023, my wife and I closed on a rental property. Um, and we bought into it as a part of these homes being new builds. I was like, very excited about the opportunity. I was told information that would lead me to believe that we'd be breaking even, if not making money. And none of that has come to pass. And unfortunately, housing prices being what they are, and the housing economy being what it is, that whole market, those prices, the prices of homes have dropped significantly. Hey, how's it going? Where we're from? Just curious. West Coast? Yep, West Coast. Um, Appreciate you stopping by and whatnot. Um, just just to catch you up here, I guess I'm using YouTube here and shorts as a way to as a I guess a journal a bit. So um anyways, like yesterday I had a bit of a challenge with what was going on in my life, and I just figured um talking it through would be the best option for me. Typically I play games, but I wanted to talk through it. So um let's see, my wife and I had closed on a house on a rental property last year. Unfortunately, the rental property that we closed on was a part of these new builds, and they did not. Um, Essentially, it has not worked out that these homes have brought in the income that we expected to, which kind of sucked. So May of last year, I my wife and I ended up moving in with my folks. We were intending on selling this house, um, and trying to get some of our money back and staying with my folks and moving on to the next thing. And unfortunately, that has not worked out the way that we expected it to. Um, we weren't able to sell the house. We still have the house, and now it is in a short sale. So we are losing the entire investment that we made into the house, which was a significant amount of money. Um, I'm living with my folks. Have lived with them for almost 2 years, and I expect to live with them another 2 years. Um, I've lost my job, and I kind of look back at 2024 as kind of a crap year. I mean, it is the year from hell, if you will. It's been very unfortunate. Um, and I also grew up religious. So went to church for most of my youth. Um, I haven't been to church in some time, maybe 10 or 15 years. Mostly because the church that I was going to, um, and even just hearing about drama about other churches, really put a bad taste in my mouth. So it wasn't necessarily the religion that did. It was all of the politics and how do we protect the business and whatnot, and the kind of people be damned, if you will. Um, so I haven't been to church in some time. It's been really unfortunate that it's turned out that way. Um, I wish I felt different, but you know, it is what it is. So, and of course that contributes to my rather um difficult life circumstances, in the sense that I've my wife and I closed on a house in May of last year that we didn't want anymore, and now we are in the process of losing all of our money that we invested into the property and then some. I mean, it's crazy. Um, we are also, I've moved in with my parents. I have, um, let's see, throughout the summer. Oh, yeah, broke my ankle last year, so then I had to go to physical therapy. Lost my job, or the announcement came in November of losing my job. Um, January, I'm officially laid off. I've been, unemployed for most of the year, but I did pick up part-time work. And yesterday I had this just big moment where I was very emotional of just like I'm 35 years old. I am living with my parents. I'm about to lose my entire investment in this house. I have no job prospects. I mean, it is just, and I'm working a part-time job. I mean, even some of the interviews that I've done, I've been slightly underqualified in some for some jobs, way overqualified for others, which unfortunately in those cases they've chosen not to move forward with me. So, that's been challenging. When you hit rock bottom, there's only one other direction you can go, and that's up. Keep your head up. God puts you through obstacles that you're strong enough to go through. Also, learn from the experience. Absolutely, and um, generally speaking, I do have a positive attitude on these things. So Zen life, I appreciate you reaching out or you saying that, and I totally it. It's one of those things of the only way out is through. Absolutely. Um, you know, the thing is that I don't know if I've hit rock bottom, but I'm not. I'm there. As you said, and as I also stated, is the only way out is through. So, I am heading to work now, and uh, I wanted to use my time in traffic here, maybe almost as a mini therapy session for myself to be able to go, how am I feeling today? How am I? What's happened in my life? What you know? Use it as personal therapy, and if someone else can learn from my mistakes, or if um, someone else can learn from my mistakes, or if someone else can provide feedback to me, all the better for it, right? um I mean, without a doubt, it's certainly been the most challenging. Without a doubt, it's been the most challenging session, period, season of my life. I've lost my job before. When I lost my job, 2 months later, I had a new job, and I just closed on a home. Um, and I couldn't believe that it happened that way, but ended up getting another job, and that's actually when I moved internally at Amazon as opposed to being a part of a vendor. And then I was at Amazon for 6 more years. Um, so now what am I doing? How do you make your way out of the the hole? How do you make your way out of what does forward look like? And simply put, it is for me, it is applying to new jobs. It's learning new skills. Um, so taking the time to figure out what I want to do with my life, reorient it. The company that I'm at, which I guess, I'd love to say this, but I'm sure if you stick around long enough, I'm sure it'll come up in conversation. Um, you know, I do stream on YouTube and Twitch, so there's always that you guys can stop by and hang out there. Um, but I connected with some folks in the corporate space, who part of their business is working with the game developers, and so connecting with them has been, um, opening up that door and pursuing that option as an avenue of what the future could be like for me. Um, so they provided, like, hey, spend some time learning Unity, because if you want to join our team, the people that we work with are typically, the developers we work with are typically mobile developers. So learn the Unity tool, because that's what most of them use, which totally makes sense. So spending my time learning Unity, um, you know, and if I'm being honest, when I look back, as angry as I am at God for my current situation, and for not, I guess, for lack of a better word, rescuing me out of the situation. I am grateful that my wife and I moved in with my folks when we did, because we didn't know that the rental was not going to turn out. We didn't know that we were going to be in a short sale. We didn't know that we'll probably need to save up a bunch of money. Like, we didn't know any of that. Um, we knew that we didn't want to make double payments between a our rent on our apartment, and um, we knew we didn't want to make we knew we didn't want to pay rent on our apartment as well as a mortgage. So we, excuse me. So, I'm looking back at my life, and this is over the last couple of years, and as challenging as they have been, um, you know, losing my job, buying this home and it not turning out, breaking my foot, not being able to find work, being denied work at places that, as a project coordinator or program manager, being underqualified in those cases, but then being overqualified for other things where they go, well, we don't want to move you in because we don't want you to leave 2 months later. Uh, you know, so I do get that. But I look back to the last year and I go, well, I didn't know that I wasn't going to be able to pay the. I didn't know that the rental was going to turn out the way that it was. I didn't know that we were going to lose our investment. And my wife is incredible. I am so grateful that she's been my partner, um, because this last year has been as challenging, or the last couple of years has been as challenging as they've been. She's gone through the emotional turmoil of accepting the situation, but also going, okay, like, um, I can kind of lean on her a little bit. When she sees that I'm feeling a type of way, she actually goes, I understand. She gives me the space that I need, which has been great. And keep doing what you're doing. Exactly. Wish you the best though, through these tough time, man. Hey, Zen Life, I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by. I know that this doing this is a bit new for me, but again, as you probably have already heard, as I'm using it as my own therapy, if you will. So I appreciate you being here and whatnot, and piping up from time to time. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, I mean, uh, it's been really wonderful to my wife has been just wonderful through this season of my life. I mean, yesterday I like, even reflecting on the moment, it's just like I couldn't. I was getting so. I'm sure. So here's the thing about me. When my and I don't know if this is because I'm a guy or because of my cultural background and how I grew up. I don't know, but I I I don't know what depression feels like. I don't know. I don't know what depression. I don't know what depression feels like. I whenever we're talking about depression, um, or whenever I acknowledge depression, it's almost like um, overt racism to me. It's like, at least in like the medium of movies, it's like so direct. It's like no one talks like this. No one, no one does this. But, and I understand. Maybe that's a bad example, but it's like when people talk about depression, they don't talk about they talk about the suicidal part of the depression. They actually don't talk about the um the loneliness that you feel, the all of these negative thoughts that end up um, pushing their way into your mind. So I had a moment yesterday where it was just like I I was warming up a corn cozy for my wife, just because she asked for it, and it was just like for I had started it. I've helped feed the cats, and then I had about 2 more minutes left on the corn cozy, and I just the our microwave is in like our pantry area, so I just shut the door, and I was in the pantry, sitting down by myself, just for a moment of peace and quiet, because I had life around me just um I had it was like commotion, and it was almost exacerbated by how I was feeling. um I was just It was almost like I wanted to be alone, um even though depression brings about a profound sense of loneliness. At the same time, I wanted to be alone. And then when I was talking to my wife about it, she just said, "Am I feeling okay?" It was just like I wasn't trying to find the words and talking it through and whatnot. It was just like I was dead. It was just like I'm I had no, it wasn't even, it was just like, it's like your expression is so neutral. It was just, I was like here. I couldn't, I just said, I'm just sad, and I'm just mad and angry. And I cannot believe this is my life. I cannot believe that I'm dealing with this, these things. And I'm just, it's like it's just like, it's like your emotional state is so, it's like so unwavering, that, and so neutral, that you almost don't feel anything. So I mean, even though I was mad, it's like I couldn't feel anger, I couldn't feel sadness. And I did end up crying yesterday, because I just, not like, I guess not slobbery nonsense, but just like I'm I'm here. I'm just and I just, it just, it was so hard to, it's been so hard to reconcile my situation. So, so I, again, I understand that the only way out of the situation is through it, right? The only way out is to go through. The only way out is forward. The only way out is up. Um, I don't know if I've hit rock bottom yet. Feels like it, but I do have a lot more to lose. I could lose my parents, I could lose my sister, I could lose my wife, I could lose the job that I have now. I could be completely by myself. And I think sometimes as individuals, we focus so much on how do I get out, how do I scramble, that we don't focus necessarily on how am I feeling, how am I mean, I know that a lot of people talk about this in terms of mental health. I don't like to talk about mental health necessarily. I don't like to take care of my mental health because I think that focusing on your mental health is you can't you can't address mental health by not moving forward. So you can't fix mental health without taking on the responsibility of what you have and addressing it, right? Um, so I know that our nation and our world is talking a lot about uh, mental health and what that means to look like to address. For me personally, I don't like to talk about mental health. I go, you know what? I'm only focusing on um I'm not talking to, I don't I address my mental health by addressing the situations around me and over time I hope that that brings me joy. I hope that brings me comfort, you know. Um and focus on my mental health. To me mental health doesn't have the root causes of mental health is taking on the burden of life and moving forward. Mental health is a symptom, or I guess poor mental health or good mental health is a result of of what you're doing in your own life. So I don't focus on my mental health because I don't want to focus on um, I don't want to the I can't fix it. I can just move the needle. So well, anyways. So again, the only way out is through. The only way out is up. I may not have hit rock bottom yet, but um, and I hope that I don't. Um, but what I do hope is that something changes, and I hope that it's positive. I hope that I hope that it's good. Um, again, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. I just wanted to talk through it. Um, I've talked through the problem for the last half hour here. Um, so what's the solution? Solution is continuing to do the work. The solution is to take on the responsibility of life. It is um, taking action. It is um, doing what you believe is best for yourself. I don't even know if it's doing what's best for yourself. It is, but it isn't. I mean, I hope that in part of what I'm doing here does help others, even if it's not quite structured accordingly. Um, I don't. I still believe in a fearing, omniscient, omnipresent God. Um, I don't know if I'll ever be in a situation where I don't believe in God, but I can't. I do think that I can be angry with Him. I do think I can be angry. Uh, I'm kind of having a moment where I do have to unfortunately hop off here pretty soon, but um, you know, God does not, God focuses on our hearts. He doesn't, he, his, his responsibility is not to make our lives good or bad on earth. It is, I don't know what it is. What is the purpose of God in our lives? Because I know it's, it's personal relationship. Hmm, maybe a topic in a future live short video. Anyways, for those who are here, for the few of you that are here, um, I'm going to be doing a journal using the time that I have in the car to talk about how I'm feeling, to talk about what happened previously. Um, Again, I just I know that my life is not as bad as other people's lives. I am so fortunate and blessed to be where I'm at. I really am. Um, but what I'm going to be doing with my time in the car here is talking through, what I'm feeling in the hopes that somebody else gets value from it. Um, that's I think what I'm going to be doing. So, um, unfortunately, it looks like the half hour that I spent in traffic is is putting me at work already, which is nice. It does mean that I'll end up hopping off here because I will need to go into work here pretty soon. Um, Tomorrow, maybe I can talk about what does God want for our lives while we're here on earth. I know He wants personal relationship. I know He wants our hearts. What does that look like? Because I don't know if I think that God wants us to be happy. Well, I don't know if God wants us to be happy. God might just want us to be content. He wants us to be happy with Him, and maybe that's a topic that I can go through. But again, I don't want to tackle it from the point of view of I want to tackle it from the point of view of God, from the church perspective. I want to tackle it from my own personal perspective. So at least I think modern day churches are a farce. I just cannot believe that people continue to give to these organizations. It's crazy, and that's a whole other can of worms. If anything, I'd prefer you to go watch go follow a religion business or religious business, which is an investigation on the nonprofit sector. So, anyways, my goal here, what I'm looking to accomplish here, is to talk through my situation, talk how I'm feeling. Um, Hopefully, someone here gets value from that. Again, I've had just a very challenging year this year, the last couple years. In fact, I know it is not as bad as it could be. I could be out on the street. Something could happen to my parents or my family or my wife or my in-laws. All of that could have happened. But it I don't believe that it will, and it certainly hasn't. Um, anyways, thank you very much for stopping by. Um, I'm hoping to use the traffic time to this truth for myself, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, anyways, thank you very much. You can catch me on Twitch and YouTube from time to time. Feel free to like and subscribe, follow the channel and whatnot if that's of interest to you. Typically, I play games on there, first person shooter, third person, all of the A titles, if that's of interest. Um, yeah, we'll just see where this goes and go from there. All right. Thank you very much for stopping by, everyone. Have a good one. Stay safe. Happy Monday. Um, hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.